I'm Sabrena Sinclair Pack. I was born in Kingston, Jamaica, but I grew up here in Houston. Um, and really, what I wanted, I was thinking today, what am I going to talk about? Am I going to, the hot topics, are the shift and interest rates and all of that stuff. But what is passionate for me is talking about wealth building through real estate and really coming up with an exit plan. I got laser focused on my exit plan in real estate because, the reality is I just don't want to open doors for the rest of my life.
Amen.
you know, and so I got really passionate about that about 5 years ago during the pandemic. And kind of just a little backstory how I got into real estate. My parents are investors also. They started buying investment properties in the early 80s when it wasn't really popular. And I graduated from college and they forced me to buy my first investment property. And I did it kicking and screaming. I did not want to do it. I was like, I'm an adult. I'm still listening to my parents. Why am I doing this? And I was 26 years old and bought my first investment property, which was a 2-bedroom condo. That's all I could afford. And I honestly held on to that property for a little bit longer than I probably should have, but hindsight's 2020. But that property allowed me to build my portfolio from there. And really now it's I've built a pretty sizable portfolio. A lot of it during the pandemic when there was opportunity, and now it's over $3 million, which is crazy to me considering that happened really fast. you know, and so it's just really changed my life. And so that's the part that I really like to share. When it started getting real for me was when I realized during the pandemic when we have a great opportunity to see firsthand homes that are coming up for sale. And I was in a ALC clinic, and in the ALC clinic, they said, okay, who's worked at the Gap before? And I was like, I've worked at the Gap. I did it in college. And they were saying, well, why do you work at the Gap? Right? The paycheck, is one thing, but the 50%, you get it for the cheap jeans. I don't know if you guys know, but if you work at the Gap, you get 50% off all the clothes. So I was doing it for that. And so when you think about it, we're in real estate, not to be selling homes. We're in it for the cheap houses. You should be in it for the cheap houses, right? The first look, the first opportunity. Nobody knows a home goes up for sale if you're the listing agent. So during the pandemic, my eyes were just really wide open whenever, properties were going so fast. And I ended up buying 2 properties from my sellers. And they never went up for sale. And I never had any competition. And it was like, whoa, the light bulb really went off. And I realized I was making over $100,000, well over $100,000 passively through real estate. I was like, wait, we've got a huge opportunity here as agents to really change our lives. So, it was eye-opening for me.
And not to disturb your rhythm at all, I think that I'm so glad that we're at that point now that we're having those conversations, because we weren't having those conversations years ago. And I look at this community and myself, again, I'm an old head, right? I've been doing this a long time, but honestly, it's only been in the last 2 or 3 years that I've increased my net worth by well over $1 million, because I'm focused now on what you're talking about. And you're a very young lady. And so I'm so glad that Richie, some of these young kids, man, they're getting it right. But the point is, it's never too late. It's never too late. So I appreciate you sharing that side with us.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm glad you said it's never too late. My dad passed away last year, 80 years old. My parents bought their last investment property when my dad was 78.
Wow.
So if that doesn't tell you that he's seen over the last, 40 years, what real estate has done for my family and the opportunities that we have, not just with ourselves, right? We change our clients' lives.
Amen.
Like I pride myself on, I've created millionaires, and that's huge for me, because that tells me that I'm inspiring people, and that's really where I feel my reach is, in real estate. So
And I can see and feel the emotion in that
yeah.
because it's important to you. And I think that as I look at the folks on this call, I am again, I'm so fortunate that really I think everyone here I know personally, and I can speak to everyone's heart, and we all feel the same way. You know what? This
Mhm.
isn't just about me, me, me. This is about we, right? And how I can
Correct.
serve and how I can help and elevate and take someone to the next level. And I told someone just yesterday, I feel like my role over these last 34 years has changed. It was realtor, it was this, it was consultant. And I tell people now I'm a real estate wealth advisor, right?
Mhm.
Just like your CPA and your doctor, right? That's the way I see myself. And I think that's the role that we should serve. It's elevating you, taking you from A to Z, right? That's our role.
Mhm.
So thank you for stepping into that gap. So um, keep going with your bad self
Yeah.
shoes, right?
So yeah, again, a little bit more backstory. This is a second career for me in real estate. So my background is in energy trading. So I managed multi-million-dollar portfolios in commodities trading on a trade floor where it's complete chaos and you're juggling a lot of things, a lot of screaming people, a lot of angry people, a lot of excited people. There's millions of dollars being traded. Um, and the huge win for me out of 17 years of being on a trade floor, and what really I think has helped me get to this level, is my financial thermostat is way beyond where I grew up, and where I know a lot of our culture is accustomed to, right? I'm used to seeing people that make millions of dollars every year repeatedly. And so I think those next level conversations really is really why I am where I am now. I'm the biggest investor in my family. I will tell you, it's very scary. I don't care how many homes you buy, how many homes you own, what your net worth is. There's still something in your gut every single time, like, oh, should I do this? And especially for me, I'm a single mom. I'm divorced. There's no backup plan. This is the backup plan, right? And so it takes a lot of gut and to be fearless, especially when you're hearing and you're seeing on social media, oh, people are going to trash your house, and what if they don't pay rent? Well, guess what happens when they pay rent for 20 years, right? So you're not even like, what the first of the month is like.
Yes. Yeah. No. Yeah. And as scary is they make it out again, having experienced it. I'm like, the excitement way exceeds the fear for me because I've seen, a property like you. I bought it at 85. It's now worth 450. I've pulled 250 out of that property. I've used that to go buy other properties. So no, like you, and I want everyone to hear this on this call because I think we're all like-minded. I'm telling folks now, you want to be part of the group that says, I'm so glad I did, as opposed to, damn, I wish I had. We don't want to get caught right there. And again, you were buying, maybe earlier during the pandemic when there was opportunity. And I had to write it down because I'm like, I try to write notes on every one I hear. And I've already, you stepped into the gap. You worked at the gap, but then you stepped into it, right? And I'm like,
Right.
that's powerful. And the imagery there, it's profound. And so we should all, using a football analogy, we should keep our head on a swivel, right? Because there's opportunities and
It's always.
our responsibility to find them, I think.
You're absolutely right. You speak about opportunity. There, you can't get ready. You need to get ready when the opportunity is there. Some of the most profitable investments that I've purchased that's going to help me cut this cord away from opening doors for the rest of my life till I'm 70 years old have been the ones I really only had about 15 minutes to make a decision. However, people are, a lot of people on social media like to look at real estate as, for wealth building as a short-term investment. It's a long-term investment. but people are using a short-term strategy with it, which is not, you'll never see the value in it.
Right.
Right. And so being able to teach my clients and anyone that's willing to listen, as you can see, I'm very passionate about it. Being able to teach anyone that is, like I said, willing to listen. I teach it at my market center, at a few other market centers, just more than you can just win month to month, right? The cash flow monthly, yeah, that's nice, and you can help out with your gas, your groceries, or whatever. But where a lot of people, I think, in the wealth building and growing, they're not seeing the other two huge pieces where, in the last 5 years, appreciation, huge, massive, right?
Right.
And then the other piece that people don't see is the depreciation, right? If you either need to create a job for somebody, or you need to find or create housing for somebody to really get the tax benefits from being a landlord. And like I said, you win 10 times over if you look at it over time. So again, there's a lot of people that look at it as a short-term strategy, and it's not. You're not going to get rich overnight. But that proverb where they say, you can plant a tree. When's the best time to plant a tree? Well, 25 years ago. Yeah. Or you can plant it today, and your future self will say thank you. And your family, your kids will really see the benefit of it. And to me, that's huge.
And legacy, I also know, is huge to you because it's important to me. So I see Keith has joined, Monique has joined. I think we all feel the same way. So again, we're all eagles. We're flying with each other. That I so love. Tell me this. I mean, I know that serving and volunteering in your area, in your community, that's important to you. So where do you spend your time? Is there an organization or two that you like to serve in?
Yep. So I'm a member of Delta Sigma Theta. So I do serve, with my sorority a lot. I do a lot of work with my church. And literally anywhere I can find, I can just pop in, because, our schedules sometimes they're flexible, but they're not really that flexible. So yeah, those are the things I love, to just call up organizations and say, hey, can I come tomorrow? And, I had someone ask me the other day, you get to volunteer a lot. What do you do? And I was like, I have a great career that has afforded me the opportunity to give back to people. And that's, like I said, a huge blessing for me in my life, for sure.
Well, and again, I know that you have tons of agent partners, because I see some of them on here now, and I feel blessed that I hope that I'm one of them, and I'm working hard to deserve that opportunity. And again, thank you again. Where has that come from? Was that just you were purposeful about it, or in your travels you were meeting? And again, where, how?
So definitely KW Family Reunion has really been pivotal for me to grow my business. I really do a substantial amount of agent referrals, out and in. So I think probably half the people on this call have probably received a referral from me, or I have worked a referral for them. And not just the business growth for both sides, but really just the synergies that I can call Monique. I think we talked about 3 weeks ago on acquiring properties. Keith, I follow him on Instagram, and he's a powerhouse. Christy Lott, we talk all the time. And I think just having those people around you, they say you're the sum of the top 5 people you talk to the most. Having those next level conversations,
absolutely,
is huge. If you tell me show me your friends, and I can kind of tell you where you are.
Amen.
Right.
Yeah. Amen.
Right. If you're the only person investing, you probably will have a smaller financial thermostat than if your whole entire friend group are all investors, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
Well, again, keep it up. And again, I think you're elevating us all in the room. So, and again, now I know you like to travel. Okay, so touch on that briefly. Is it just things that you like to do that are on your bucket list, or you're purposeful about certain areas and or connect? And when you travel, because I just got back from Nassau, right? And I didn't have a whole lot of time, but I had my head on a swivel. I was looking at real estate companies and checking prices and different things. When you travel, are you able to just chill, or it's multi-purpose for you?
Well, for me, I travel sometimes to network, and then I've been traveling a lot lately just to relax, just to get away. About a month ago, I went to Bali. So I went to Bali for 10 days. I went to Turkey, and once I got to Bali, I thought it was just going to be relaxing, and I think I might be moving to Bali for at least 4 months out of the year somewhere in the next 10 years for sure. But I like I said, I do love to travel. And it's great because I can do it through my investments, right? And then you think, well, maybe there's an opportunity for me to invest over here in this other country. And I didn't even think that was why I came here. And then it opens your eyes to, again, other opportunities and where you can move some real estate around. Yeah.
Again, we say life by design, right?
For sure.
Regardless of whether you've taken bold or not. And so I think that I'd like to say it's because I'm mature, but not necessarily, right? Because we've got a few young folks on this call, and I think that's the purpose of what we're doing, because it moves us in that direction. Because like you, I've enjoyed serving and opening doors, but I don't want to have to do that for forever, right? I'm making sure that I've set myself up so that maybe I've got others that are opening doors while I'm creating the vision and opportunities for them to walk into. So thank you for sharing that. Again, as we wind down, because these calls are so quick, right? Because we're all busy, we've got things to do. Tell me this, because I know that your business, you've got referral partners all over. Is that the number one source of business from you, or is it working with past clients or your investors? Where did the business come from? Speak to me like I'm a brand new agent getting into this business. What's one piece of advice that you would, offer to me?
So when I started my career, my first 6 months in real estate, I started out doing open houses. That's where I got my first success. I'm a former KW Rookie of the Year. And so my first 6 months, I sold $6 million in just open house people, only open house. So the question is for new agents, I don't know people. Open houses do work, right? They work when you work. Yeah. So while you're still trying to establish your sphere and your credibility among the people open house is a great opportunity. Now that my business has grown over the last, 6 years, definitely my past clients, when I'm in a deal, I'm working for the referral. The expectation that I have with myself is that when I talk to them in 6 months, that I will get a referral. So my past clients are a huge piece of my business. I would say probably 60% past client referrals. Realtor referrals, probably about 25%. And then the rest is just sphere referrals. So 100% referrals. I love my weekends, and I don't do open houses as much as I used to, but I still do them. I like to get face-to-face, chest-to-chest with people, because I realize I can convert at a pretty higher level when I'm face-to-face. So right now with, the market in the middle of this shift and everything, I think it's important for people to really, new agents, seasoned agents, to really focus on conversion, right? If you get up to bat one time, you need to hit it out of the park.
Absolutely.
If you get up to bat 100 times, it would be nice if you hit it out of the park 100 times.
Right.
So really converting is really going to help you sustain, to cement yourself in this business. And again, if you're a new agent or you're a seasoned agent, either way. So, just relentless pursuit just to grow your business. It's not going to be easy. It's, you said there's a lot of new agents on here. You have to work harder than you did 2 years ago. Yes. Literally double to get the same thing.
Absolutely.
So that's the reality. It is what it is.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if I coined the phrase, but I told my coach forever ago, I have to work harder to get less. Right. But for me, that was, working harder to at least maintain exactly where I'm at. And it is what it is. And again,
Yeah.
I'm not scared. And I know
Yeah.
you're not either, right?
No, no. Once you get over that the thought of that,
Right.
you're working and you need to have your goals and everything set up, but it is what it is, like you said.